Raider Nation, what's going on? You guys are watching the Raiders Report. Coming up here on today's show, I'm going to give you a reaction from NFL media, from people, players, literally everyone all over the internet when they heard that Jon Gruden was stepping down from the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, I wouldn't be able to do today's show if it wasn't for our awesome sponsor, Magic Spoon. If you guys haven't tried this cereal yet, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. 13 grams of protein, 4 grams of net carbs, 0 grams of sugar. How do you get the hookup? MagicSpoon.com/Raiders. Take advantage of this deal because, who knows, it might not last forever. If you guys like stuff that tastes like cake batter, guess what? The Frosted, it's really, really good. So what we're going to see here, guys, I got a whole bunch of tweets, a whole bunch of pictures, so I want you to stick with me. It's going to be a little bit different of a show, and I forgot to say this, I also have reactions from some of the YouTube commenters as well. So here was the New York Times' tweet that went out on October 11th at 9:20. Jon Gruden resigned as the coach of the Las Vegas Raiders on Monday. He had denounced the emergence of women as referees, the drafting of a gay player, and the tolerance of players protesting during the national anthem, a review of his emails showed. So as soon as this happened, right, his reaction was, hey, man, originally on Friday, there was only one email. I didn't know what happened, and he lied about it. The fact that he lied and that he lost the locker room is why I am okay sitting up here saying the Raiders made the right decision by moving on from Jon Gruden. Does it suck? I liked Gruden. I literally had a show that had Chucky heads. Obviously, I was rooting for the guy. However, when all this extra stuff came out, when the fact that he also lied, and to the people out there that are like, oh, his email's 10 years ago. It wasn't. It was 2018 when he was a member with the Raiders. So, it was much more frequently, but overall, it was a very, very bad look. Now, again, we found some more reactions to when Jon Gruden was let go. Here is cornerback Marlon Humphrey. Bruh, Jon Gruden resigned. What? Yeah, I couldn't believe it either. I was literally getting ready to make dinner, and I get a message from our boss and our team here and said, hey, you might want to come into the studio. We think Jon Gruden's about to get fired. And I was like, I don't think he's going to happen. And then I saw the story, and I was like, oh, crap. I'm going to have to come in here and make a video. So I went ahead, made the video. If you guys didn't see it, that means you're not subscribed, so make sure you hit that big red button that says sub. But to some of the people that were watching, I said, hey, give me a one-word reaction. Now, what I did is I started combing through some of the YouTube comments, and here were 5 answers that I saw when I asked, what's your one-word reaction to Jon Gruden being fired? If you guys want to give me your one-word reaction, please go ahead and do so. But Noblesse Rosali said, I understand, which I understand. Dr. Matt King said, bye. Wade Cook was sad. Dude, it's Danny NYW said depressing. And then Yoshi Mitsu said a relief. So what do you guys think here? Let me know from a scale from 1 to 10. How shocked were you when you found out that Jon Gruden stepped down or that he was fired from the Las Vegas Raiders? And I want you to scale from 1 to 10. 1 being you weren't surprised at all. You knew it was going to come. 10 being, oh my goodness, drop everything that you're doing and get your butt to the studio, because that's where I'm at. I am at a big fat 10 because how quickly this story started to roll and how quickly it started to seem like, okay, somebody's definitely on a witch hunt after Jon Gruden. I was like, all right, this is getting pretty crazy. So you know what, man? Yes, absolutely. I was shocked. I'm still shocked, which you guys can probably tell by my overall just appearance and just way I'm talking about this stuff. Now, if you're looking for more news, rumors, literally anything that involves the silver and black, I want you to hit that big red button right now that says subscribe underneath your show. I was actually on BBC World News today. Why? Because they said that Raiders Report is the #1 most watched Raiders show, and they wanted to get me on. So I have to say thank you to you, but also I want to continue to grow this thing. I want to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we're getting pretty damn close. So if you could, hit that sub button. It's also free. All right, let's go to the next thing coming on here. It's from Willie Snead. When you don't live right, it's hard to do right. I'm not saying that this is around Jon Gruden, but what I tried to do is I tried to scrub and I tried to find the most recent social media tweets, stuff on Instagram from current Raiders players, and so far I've only found 3. The next one. Basically, right when the news was announced that Gruden was stepping down, Josh Jacobs posted this picture on Instagram. Not until we are all lost do we begin to understand ourselves. Like I said, I have no idea if it has anything to do with Jon Gruden. However, this one from Trayvon Mullen, I know for a fact has to do with Jon Gruden. So he posted this literally just a few minutes before I came on the show, and it said, it's about how you finish. Got you, JG. I'm going to guess that means got you, Jon Gruden. And they're 100% right. It doesn't matter how you start the season. It's all about how you finish the season. But one of the biggest reasons why I decided to do the show is because I talk about the Raiders probably more than anyone, and maybe I'm cocky in saying this. I don't think anybody knows more about the Raiders or can talk about the Raiders like I can, because I do it all the time. Like, literally, every single day it's my job. So when I see other people like NFL media heads out there bringing them up, I'm like, wait a minute, time out a second. Nah, I'm going to give my 2 cents on this. So here's what Keyshawn Johnson had to say about Gruden. He's just always been a fraud to me. From day one, he's been a used car salesman. Now, I think what Keyshawn is trying to say here is this. Jon Gruden was more of a name, and I definitely think it's some pretty harsh words from Keyshawn, who they didn't get along. If you guys don't know, Keyshawn and Gruden, they basically not played together, but Gruden coached Keyshawn, and when Keyshawn was there, he wasn't nearly as productive, and they had some butting heads, but Keyshawn also butted heads with a lot of people. Now, do I think Keyshawn Johnson is a diva? Yes, absolutely. But I also kind of agree with the idea that Jon Gruden was given a $100 million contract 10-year because his name was Jon Gruden. If it would have been anybody else, I don't know if it would have happened. And I also say it's probably going to be the last time a coach ever gets that type of deal, because you just never know what can happen. Now, if you guys are looking for an awesome deal right now, going on over to Magic Spoon, 13 grams, 14 grams of protein per bowl. Imagine being able to find a cereal that's got less than 150 calories. I don't know about y'all, but when I was a kid, I'd wake up every single morning, I'd walk downstairs, and I'd get to choose from these 6 random boxes of cereal. One had a frog on it. One was like some corn, I think it was like corn pops or some shit like that. And then you read the back of it, and you're like, what? Why am I eating this stuff? It's literally like eating pure sugar. Imagine going to the Texas State Fair every single day for breakfast. That's what I was doing. And if you're eating healthier, you're going to feel a lot better about yourself. And for everybody out there, if you know me, dude, I have the worst sweet tooth in the entire world. I get a box of Magic Spoon. I eat a bowl before I go to bed. Sometimes I do it after I get done working out. Heck, I sit around here at work and I just chomp on this stuff. Why? I love sweet food and I don't feel guilty when I get done eating it. So make sure you guys get your hands on some Magic Spoon cereal. MagicSpoon.com/Raiders. All right, here's a tweet that came in from Shannon Sharpe on October 11th. Coach Gruden didn't have a bad moment, but a 7-year history of bad moments. Owner Mark Davis did the right thing, and he's out from under that $100 million contract. What former/current players, coaches, and colleagues will stand up for offended groups like the did for Coach Gruden? Yeah, I'm kind of with you in the idea where if you go ahead and you basically have racist comments, homophobic, and misogynistic, I mean, you basically covered all bases there, and that's not a good look. What about Emmanuel Acho? For the record, Emmanuel Acho I don't really think has any right to be able to talk about this because he said some pretty questionable things not too long ago. Jon Gruden's email attacked a white straight man, a black, homosexuals, women, and concussion protocol. He had to resign. There was nobody left to defend him. I actually am not going to agree with this because there has been some people that have defended Jon Gruden. Now, overall, it was a bad look. No doubt about it. However, we have to start realizing that this was a little bit of a witch hunt. Not even a little bit, it was. So what do you guys think here? Is Jon Gruden's career over? Why for yes, or I want you to go ahead and type in for no. When I think of career, I think from a coaching standpoint. He's got a Super Bowl ring. I know some people's been pretty well respected. Now, I'm not going to say from the media's perspective because maybe somebody from the media gives him a shot. But from an NFL coaching standpoint, his career is over. Yes, 100%. Lock it in. I would be absolutely shocked if he does ever come back. Plus, Gruden's got plenty of money. He made $40 million. So if I was Jon, I don't really see why I would put this stuff on him. But if you guys want, go down. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. Type Y for yes, or I want you to go ahead and type N for no. Yes, Gruden's career, guys. I mean, it's got to be over, right? I would anticipate everyone to go ahead and type their Y for yes. If somebody does go ahead and type their N for no, that's perfectly fine. But tell me, what team do you honestly think is going to go out there and hire this man? Not only because of everything he said, but because obviously there's somebody in the NFL who's a higher-up that wants his head. Let's go to Mina Kimes. Jon Gruden's comments confirm what many of us have long known to be true. People in power speak differently behind closed doors. This goes beyond him, and the NFL should release their findings on the Washington football team under Dan Snyder. I agree. Need to find their findings under Dan Snyder. What about Sage Rosenfels? He had some comments. If you thought that these emails would have been reported to officials by those who were receiving them, well, the problem is that these are the same people. Hashtag Jon Gruden. I think what he's kind of saying there is like, obviously, the people that got him are the exact same people that report them. And one of the things that I tweeted out there was like, okay, so NFL owners can basically get away with anything because they're the ones that write the checks, which sure, I get how that works. But at the same time, we got to start holding people accountable because these mistakes just simply can't happen. What about Peter King? He chimed in on the whole Jon Gruden experience here. This is the other great question of the day. Gruden, what does that say? Vilified, justifiably fired. Snyder, hand-slapped, fined, keeps job. Again, owners can get away with it, but NFL coaches can't. It's very, very fishy. It sounds like to me that Roger Goodell's hiding something. So what about this? Is Dan Snyder the next person to lose his job? So the ultimate reason why these Jon Gruden emails were found is because there's an investigation with 650,000 emails, and people were trying to get into the inside scoop of what Dan Snyder and the whole Washington football team organization was doing. So 1 for yes, 2 for no. So here's the issue. Dan Snyder probably will not lose his job because he's an owner, but he absolutely should, and so should Robert Kraft. Somebody please explain to me how you can find videos of Robert Kraft doing illegal stuff at a massage parlor and nobody even cares. Nobody even bats an eye about it. Or Snyder, we know what he was doing. Nobody cares about it. There are pictures of Jerry Jones with, I don't know if they're underage, but they look pretty young and it's pretty suspect, yet nobody says anything. I mean, the amount of stuff that has already been out there by these owners, it's a joke, and they need to be able to be held accountable for it. Now, I found this here. There's also a lower third that goes along with it, and it's from the attorneys here in this Washington football team. They're representing over the 40 women. It's from Lisa Banks and Deborah Katz, and they released this right before I was about to do today's show. It is truly outrageous that after the NFL's 10-month-long investigation involving hundreds of witnesses and 650,000 documents related to the longtime culture of harassment and abuse at the Washington football team, the only person to be held accountable and lose their job is the coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. If the NFL felt it appropriate to release these offensive emails from Jon Gruden, which it obtained during its investigation into the Washington football team, it must also release the findings related to the actual target of the investigation. Our clients and the public at large deserve transparency and accountability. If not, the NFL and Roger Goodell must explain why they appear intent on protecting the Washington football team and owner Dan Snyder at all costs. I 100% agree with this. It sounds like Roger Goodell has got some bad shit on his back end, and he doesn't want people to find out. That's what I hear from this. Now, also, Brady Quinn also had to chime in on the whole thing with Gruden. Someone in the NFL doesn't like Jon Gruden. That's the bottom line because this investigation was done by the NFL, and this was the only thing that made public from all those emails. Brady Quinn, you are 150% correct. And if you guys agree with Quinn, now I don't want to sit on here and say that Jon Gruden shouldn't have gotten fired. Jon Gruden should have gotten fired. However, how can all these other NFL owners get away with this and nothing happens? How can Roger Goodell still be the man in charge? It just absolutely blows my mind. Nobody likes Roger Goodell, and I get it. Gruden called him a terrible thing. You're right. However, just because he called you a bad name, all you're going to do then is focus on one little detail and try to get rid of Gruden instead of actually trying to figure out the actual problem. That's the biggest issue with him. He just can never figure it out. Sorry, I'm ranting. If you guys want to hear more of my rants, follow me on Instagram. All right, let's go to a few more things here. We got Tony Dungy. Now, more emails have come. More inappropriate, immature, wrongful attacks on character of people from all walks of life. I don't defend those either, and given the apparent pattern of the behavior, the Raiders did the appropriate thing in terminating Jon Gruden. But Tony Dungy then also said, that being said, if Jon Gruden shows true remorse, and more importantly, changes his mindset and actions, I would forgive him. As Christians, that's what the Bible commands us to do because that's what God does for us. I know that's not popular, but it's biblical. If that's Tony Dungy's opinion, I would forgive Jon Gruden. I just would never go ahead and hire him ever again. What about Josina Anderson? One Raiders player said to me tonight, when we met today, we were moving on to the next game to Denver. This news now is shocking. At the same time, he told us he said a lot. On one hand, I knew it was some foul stuff. On the other hand, we know the man we work with every day. So that's kind of one of those things where you saw some players have Jon Gruden's back, but they also know what he said was pretty terrible. Here's what Charles Woodson, the GOAT, had to say on Fox Sports. I would have to say I'm disappointed to say the least, but I've been around Jon Gruden enough to know him and have an opinion about him, and I know this is a racial undertone to it, but I do not believe that Jon Gruden himself is a racist. Also, Woodson said this: the late great Al Davis believed in inclusion and diversity, and I don't believe he ever would have brought Jon Gruden into this organization had he thought he had those types of views. And again, I 100% agree with what Woodson's saying there. One of the great things about the Raiders has always been their ability. It didn't matter what color you were, who you were. If you could get the job done, that's who was ultimately brought in. Here's what Clay Travis had to say on the matter. Every rapper the NFL is performing at the Super Bowl has more offensive lyrics than Jon Gruden had in his emails, which, you're not wrong. How does the NFL reconcile the difference in treatment? These are questions all sports media would be asking if they were real journalists. Very, very interesting stuff there by Clay. And then here he also goes on to say this: Deshaun Watson has been accused of sexually assaulting 24 different women. He is currently eligible to play in the NFL, yet Jon Gruden was just forced to resign as a coach because of years-old derogatory emails, actions used to matter more than words. Now it's the opposite. I 100% agree with Clay Travis here in this stance. I mean, it makes no sense to me that you can continue to get away with stuff like this, but what it comes down to, Roger Goodell was simply after Jon Gruden. So what do you guys think here? Give me your thoughts. I found some hot-takey stuff on the internet around Gruden, so if you guys could, I want every person that comes across this video to give me your thoughts on the situation down below. And if you could share this on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram. I want to get as many people to comment on the situation as I possibly can, and who knows, you might see yourself on a future Raiders Report. What about Brice Butler? Brice Butler had this to say, and I want to kind of say this in a positive way because I like this, and I think Rich Bisaccia is going to be a very positive person. I'm just basically trying to wrap up this whole Jon Gruden thing with this. Brice Butler said, Rich Bisaccia is probably my favorite coach I had in the league. I believe the Raiders will respond well to him. At least that's my hope. It's my hope. It's everybody's hope out here. I know it's been a bumpy start, and a lot of people are out there kind of sick of the drama around the Raiders. But I can guarantee you this, I'm not going to go anywhere, and I don't want you guys to go anywhere either. I want you to go ahead and keep your hopes up. Now, before I wrap up this bad boy, I do want to show you some of the reactions, I guess, from other people here from Raider Nation that we've had some past videos. So we'll go ahead and do that, but I will end this cut here. So if you're watching it live, you will have to wait and see some of those other ones. But Brice Butler, appreciate the comments. If you guys haven't already, please go ahead, hit that like button. I really want to try to get this video viral.